Okay, we're going to talk about the specifics of the shotgun for sure here in the bunker. But I'm going to do kind of a public service announcement about where we are in the clown world of the left. Guns are political. I've always said that. This gun right here, super, super political. Here's my PSA. Ready? Do not delay. Buy it. There you go. That's because this gun is super naughty in the mind of the left. Biden, Harris, all the leftists, they hate this thing. They never, ever want you to be able to own such a gun. They think it's evil, and they think you're evil for owning it.
Back to low base.
Sorry, I can't help myself. Yeah, I'm going to review the gun, but you need to understand how limited the days are when you can own such a gun. Now, maybe it's just me. I don't think it is. But do you feel the doors closing in on semi-automatic firearms in the United States? I'm not going to tie this to any current event because all my reviews, all my GRVs, KRVs, WRVs are long-term, 30 years. But let's just say things are advancing the way I always thought they were going to, and here we are. And it's clown world. So upside down to right. I'm not going to make this a political video, but I'm just saying this gun is naughty. And do not delay. If you can find this, the Rock Island Armory VR60, buy it. Buy it. For the low cost, it has gone up with what's going on. For the low cost, buy it. Now, maybe you remember my Rock Island Armory VRBP 100, horrible name, I said that, review. It's a bullpup semi-automatic shotgun. I didn't like it. We didn't like it. And I said as much. I said it's basically airsoft clickbait.
Hang on,
I did. There were so many things about the VRBP 100 that I hated. It was a non-recommend.
You can replace
but
those,
in that shotgun review, and I can't remember if I did it here in the bunker with TD or on tabletop, but I said, I'm going to give the other shotguns made by Derya, D-E-R-Y-A in Turkey, the guns they're making and importing through RIA, a fair shot. And this was one of the ones I mentioned. I said, hey, maybe the VR60 is awesome. So all our testing is complete. We've done a couple outings with this gun.
Pull it out.
And because time is of the essence, I'm going to kind of kill the drama of the review and say, just go get one. For its low price, yeah, get this naughty gun and be naughty. Yeah, this is an evil gun. It's going to get banned. Yeah. The magazines are going to get restricted, banned, outlawed. Who knows? Move while you can. And I bet you all have been doing that. So I don't know what the future holds. Like I've said here in TMP, thanks to the donors, you should be one, by the way. Link below. Never too late to join. Be a donor, long-term donor. I'm going to keep cranking out the content, even gun content, as long as I can. Legally. I have to obey the law. So whatever the law says, that's what I have to abide by. I'll do it as long as I can. Right now, this gun is 100% legal and almost 100% awesome. There you go. Are you surprised? I know you are because, well, I've drugged my feet on reviewing guns of this sort in the project. I mean, guys, other reviewers of firearms, I'm sure, jumped right on it. And it's not just this one. I'll mention some competitive offerings before the video ends. And I always thought they were kind of hokey. You know, I did. And I still have my sights fixated upon a two-fed, reliable semi-automatic shotgun, much like this Wesson 2000. It's basically a Beretta 1201 or something like it. It's awesome. It's just totally awesome. And yeah, it has limitations. You're going to have to constantly load it. It's not magazine fed, but it's super reliable. It's accurate. It's lightweight, and it's very trim. It doesn't have any protruding magazines coming out of it. You don't have to buy any magazines. It's very proven, both in competitive circles and law enforcement circles, military circles. Not this particular one, but really high-quality European semi-automatic shotguns, like I've been talking about for years, like the FN, for years. So I'm not going to come here and say, oh, you need to pitch your tube-fed semi-auto shotguns. No, which will kind of lead us into philosophy of use with Derja. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Don't really care. Rock Island Armory VR60. What would you use this very naughty thing for? Well, I mentioned one philosophy of use, and that is just making a political statement of freedom. I really don't care if you buy one of these, you never use it ever. In fact, I hope, at least for martial purposes, you never have to use it. You just collect it and go, you know what? That's something they do not want me to own, and it is. I'm gonna buy one of those and keep it for my kids. Again, if they stay legal, who knows? There you go. It's just a collectible. It's just kind of fun. And then, of course, we can go into the combat purposes of this, defending good people against bad guys. Yeah, and there's lots of bad guys. Lots of bad guys. And it seems like they are ever growing in number. Who knows what the clown world holds for us in the future. But it's nice to have a gun like this, a fast-firing, and we'll talk about reliability. We'll say reliable shotgun at this point because I don't want to kill that drama. In the mix. Now, notice I said mix. I've always advocated in my shotgun reviews, philosophically, to pair them with a tactical carbine, right? Right, and that's what I've always said. So here we've got a POF Renegade, super wicked, super awesome. Another nasty, naughty, evil gun, black rifle, according to the communists. Shit! Commies! Excuse me. Some dust in here. Anyways, yeah, they hate this thing. But philosophically speaking, this should be your go-to rifle. But you should layer it with team members who have that. Who have a fast-firing shotgun. And it doesn't have to be a semi-auto. It could be a pump. 870, 590, 500, like I've talked about, completely adequate. But the dude needs to know how to run it. Because all those weapon systems kind of mesh together to create more of a force continuum. Ooh, I like that word. That's a big word, Nutton. Hadn't heard it for a while. Oh, by the way, I got a huge cold sore right here. Yeah, I look bad. I was thinking, man, should I even go on camera? I look sickly. I don't care. I've gone on camera looking horrible for years now. Why would this review be any different? It's raw and it's real. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're having a good time. No, this is a force continuum weapon. And I'm laughing, but I'm just laughing about the situation. But we're going to layer it. So hopefully you have some other people to defend against the marauding communist zombies, which are coming. And this would be a great gun to have in the mix. Just like the other combat shotguns I've talked about over the years. It's not a can-do-everything weapon. It's not. This gun, any AR platform semi-automatic shotgun has some serious limitations. And I guess I'll cover them here. And I said this before with the VRBP 100, the magazine for one. And dudes, this is coming out of F12, the gun behind me. But here's the one that came with it. It's not labeled. They're just heavy. They're like 11.5 ounces each. Holy crap. That's heavy. They're big and bulky. Trying to carry them is difficult. If you use shot shells of lower quality, they're going to squish, especially if they're kept in there over time, and you may induce some malfunctions because there's some deformation in those plastic shells. Those are big disadvantages. And here's another thing you have to find, source, buy. Right now when I'm making this video, some locations have them. These are going to run about $40 a piece. I can't actually find these metal ones, which a lot of AR-12s use. But ProMag makes one, and it's a 9-rounder, and that's about $40. I think it's 9 or 10 rounds. They also make a 20-round drum. Oh, that is super naughty. 20-round drum, baby. Yeah, I recommend getting one of those too. Statement of freedom. Gear for the good guys. But we're talking about disadvantages. That's a huge disadvantage. Again, I'm holding it. This is an F12, a Typhoon F12. Back here, I'll review that separately, but it's also an AR pattern shotgun. Loan from Gunny's, the Great American Gun Store. I can't speak. Gun store, y'all. Right here. This one too. And by the way, they're maxed, and they can't keep anything in stock, probably just like your local gun store. But I do ask you to at least try to support those who support this voice, the Nutnfancy project, and that is Wyatt at Gunny's. Yeah, so that's a disadvantage. They're big in overall length with this magazine put in. Again, this is just a 5-rounder. You got a higher dimension here. It's just a big gun. Did I write the overall length? Probably. Oh yeah, I did. 39 inches. So it's a monster. Now the weight on this, 8 pounds 4 ounces, and apparently I'm not too sickly to hold it up with one hand, so that's good. The weird thing about this, the Rock Island Armory VR60, it's weird and it's good, is it feels like it's a lot lighter. Sean, the TMPer, shot it with me. He's like, this 8 pounds 4 ounces, this seems lighter.
Got one in.
I know it does. It's really deceptive. I don't know if it's because of how the forend is and how long it is. It's made of a lot of polymer. Has an aluminum chassis in it. Don't know. It seems lighter than 8 pounds 4 ounces.
It loves low base.
But downsides, yeah, it's big. And if we compare it against like a tube-fed semi-auto, once again, this is just a cast member for comparison purposes. You can see this is going to be easier to put in a case, easier to get out of a vehicle. We don't have a magazine to malfunction, get dented, get lost to purchase. This is simpler. This is effective. But if you get like a 10 round or 20 round, dang, son. That's a lot of firepower. That's a lot of firepower. I like that. Philosophy of use. Competition.
There you go. Nice thing with the
Probably not. And the reason I suck wind in when I do that is because competition means you're going to be shooting a lot.
Right,
you're going to put a lot of wear and tear on a gun. And I'm not so sure these Derja produced shotguns are going to hold up to it. I just don't know. And I didn't shoot like 1,000 rounds on this. But I highly doubt it. And if you're a competitor and you've used a VR60 and you've had good experience with it, let us know. Say in comment. I could be wrong, but I would say probably not. You need something more proven, like a Mossberg, a 930, Jerry Michalik Special, FN, Benelli, something like that. They can really take a lot of wear and tear because those guys are cranking thousands of shot shells through their shotguns. I'm just not sure this can take it. Now, this gun doesn't strike me as so airsofty as a VRBP. God, I hate that name. 100. That one seemed really airsofty. This seems more like an AR-15, albeit a polymer or lighter weight AR-15. But it doesn't seem airsofty. Philosophy of use, home defense. Yeah, I'd sign off on that. It's got pick rails for lights. Recreation, absolutely. Very fun to shoot. Which, by the way, is interesting because some shotguns are not fun to shoot. They are battering. They will beat you up.
Buckshot.
This one is, though.
That's the form.
Without rule of law, yes. Again, I prefer you layer it, but if it's going to be your primary gun, I would count on it out to 40 yards, if that. Again, shotguns are close range, and I know we've got some specialty rounds, slugs, sabot rounds, stuff that you probably have very few of.
Low base.
I would rather go with a tactical carbine. 40 yards, yeah, you bet. Into philosophy of use features, here we go. It comes with, I think, 3 chokes. And the reason I always act like I don't really know is because when I check these out at Gunny's, I don't take the box because I don't need the box. And so I just put stuff in a plastic bag. And I try to keep track of it, but again, I'm checking out like sometimes 15 guns when I go. Like the F12 was checked out at the same time, and so sometimes like, well, was that one? That's why. Forgive me if I don't know the absolute specifics, but I'm pretty sure it comes with 3 or 4 chokes. This one, and I think I labeled it cleverly, actually. Look at that. Here's your chokes right here. And it comes with an improved cylinder, modified, full, improved, modified, something like that. And the way you can tell on these little choke tubes, if you don't know, is they'll have little grooves milled into them, and the more grooves that it has, the more constriction that choke tube has. Here's your choke wrench that comes with your VR60. That's pretty sick. Stainless steel, pretty good. Make sure they're in tight. You can use choke lube if you want. I didn't, and we didn't have a problem. But it's super cool it has that, especially for this very value-priced combat shotgun. Pretty awesome. So you'll have that. Experiment with the loads you want. Myself, I kind of like running modified. I think cylinder, IC, that is an improved cylinder. They just throw a pattern. And by the way, I didn't pattern this because I blow my targets up. I'm not going to do that. I'm talking about my wood holders. That's why you don't see that when I review shotguns. I used to do it early in days, and I'd just blow the shit out of it. Sorry, I'm trying not to cuss as much. And I was like, I'm not doing that no more. But modified's a good all-around. So that's what I recommend. So it includes that. Now, there's no muzzle device on this, and there is a competitive offering that I might mention that has one. I don't have a problem with that at all. It's a 20-inch barrel. It's chrome lined, matte chrome lined, which is super high quality for what you're getting. Yeah, I don't care. When I see a big old muzzle device on a shotgun, it just seems very tactical to me and not really functional. I think it's more ridiculousness. The guys are trying to look cool. And when I shot the Segas early in TMP, like PFI dude, he put those big old, baffled tank muzzle devices on the Sega builds, and I always thought they were kind of dumb because they're just big and heavy and didn't really serve a purpose. So this one's clean. Then we have a polymer forend. Then again, this is not where your rounds are contained, right? Your recoil spring is right here, your return spring. It wraps around the support tube right here. There's your cap that ties it in. We're not going to field strip it. This is a single piece polymer enclosure over an aluminum receiver, which is cool. Picatinny rail. I think it will be good enough as far as stability goes. As you can see, I mounted a Holosun on it. And by the way, I would recommend that totally. Totally. If I can find some links to Holosun, I'll put them below. Still my go-to red dot sight. They don't pay me. No. Which one is this, by the way? 403? No, this is a 550, I think, if I can read it. They're awesome. So this one has like the 65 MOA circle with another one in the middle. Now, it does come with flip-up sights, and they were crap. And it has a detachable carry handle, like an A1 AR-15. We just took that off. I took the front side off, and I just didn't like the sights, and we just ran this the whole time. But if a company is going to save money, that's where you're going to do it. And I think that was why. So they didn't spend a lot of money on the sights. They're just like, hey, man, you can put a red dot on. So that's outstanding. Then we have a full pick rail under here. This is rather large, this span right here. So you could put a VG on it. And since this is a full-size shotgun, it's completely legal to do that. But it does have a lot of room for lights. You've got side pick rails here. And I really like that, actually. Because I can put a VG on here. I can put some angled foregrip on there if I want. I could put night vision on here if I wanted, albeit I don't know if it could withstand the recoil of buckshot. You put your Psionics Aurora Black on here, you might be destroying it. You might want to just put maybe, well, what do you know, a Balder IR on there. That would be cool. And you run either PVS 14s or Psionics on it. Cool idea, nothing. Okay, this is a reciprocating charging handle. I like how it's shaped. It's ventilated right here. It's cool. I mean, I had no problems with the charging handle at all. One thing we found out in the desert, it's nice that we were able to seat a stubborn shot shell. If it didn't go in, we could just kind of push it forward like a forward assist. That was all good. And the rest of the controls are just like an AR-15. No explanation needed right there, right? Magazine releases right here, right where you expect it. That's what it looks like underneath. Safety right here, 90-degree safety. Had no problems with that. Positive in nature. Trigger is not impressive. It pulls at a very stout, what is it? I measured it, like 9 pounds, 14 ounces, if I'm remembering right. Let me make sure I'm telling you right. Yeah, the trigger sucks. It's horrible. I may be off on that rating, by the way, because there's another gun I'm going to review, and it had like a 10-pound-ish trigger. This one sucks. It's not good. Maybe you can do something with it, work on it, make it smoother. Don't know if you want to for a low-cost shotgun like this, but maybe you can. And then we have an integral trigger guard right here, integral pistol grip. Basically, this whole thing is unchangeable, so you're going to have to like it. Raise your hand if you like it. I like it. The crew members liked it. We're like, yeah, that's comfortable. We like it. I like the length of pull on the A2 stock. It's awesome. And then we have kind of a rollover cheek piece right here.
Buckshot. Yeah. Buckshot.
Some very Turkish style sling loops right here. And I'm laughing because Turkey makes these tiny sling loops, and they're not really big enough for American slings, but they do put them on there and they work. We didn't run them. You might investigate other slinging possibilities if you need to. The whole stock, in my opinion, is very comfortable to shoot. It's very ergonomic. What do you know? It's just like an AR-15, a full-size 20-inch AR-15. That's what this gun feels like, which is a good thing, because how do you beat ergos on a good AR? You don't. Great recoil pad on there. Needs to be taped with some high-quality tape so it doesn't grab. And that's features. Down and dirty. Does it have a hollow pistol grip for storing crap? No, thankfully it doesn't. It doesn't. If it does, I didn't try to take that off. Yeah, too many people put too much crap in their ARs, so there you go. How did it shoot? Okay, the most important thing on this VR60 is that, drum roll please, it was reliable. What did you say, Nutn? I thought you said it was reliable. Good ears. I did say it was reliable, mostly. I didn't say it was 100% reliable. There were a couple stoppages we had with low base rounds, and I think we may have had one with buck. So we shot a whole bunch of low base rounds. We shot probably 2 boxes of double aught buckshot of various makes, and probably another 40 rounds of number 4 buck. And our overall take was, without lube, by the way, I did not take this apart and pre-lube it. I just shot it out of box. Now, Sean and I both said, hey, we'd buy this. We liked it. And the shooting dynamics, once again, very smooth. You've got that inline stock, so it transfers that recoil straight back. Way, way more enjoyable to shoot than the VRBP 100 bullpup or any other combat shotgun bullpup. We liked it. It was just like, wow, this is fun. It's fun. We enjoyed it. The magazine's going pretty well. I'm not going to say you won't have problems, though, because, again, kind of the Achilles heel for all these AR pattern shotgun is this. And more importantly, the plastic, the stiffness of the plastic of your shot shells of choice. If you get soft plastic, you're probably going to have problems. Here's another thing we noted. We didn't have to adjust anything on this. Now, if we go back in TMP, back to, I don't know, 2009 to the 12 timeframe, we're shooting Sega 12s, and it seems like every Sega 12 that I shot had problems. It had to be tuned for the load it was shooting. And it would jam, 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 tune, 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 jam, 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 tune. Oh, now it's running good. I never was super impressed with a Sega product, and I think the Kalashnikov USA KS12 is probably the same way, that it has to have a load that it likes, and the volume of gas has to match its system. This, amazingly, and it doesn't have like any different pistons you drop into it. I didn't notice any other settings, and maybe I'm a dummy. We just shot it, and it worked, and no parts flew off the gun.
Good start. Low base round.
So for a naughty gun, it did very well. Accuracy, again, sorry, I'm not really giving you that, but I'm sure the patterning at 25 yards with your modified tube will be just fine. Would I buy this? Would the crew members that shot it with me buy it? I think you know the answer to that, right? It is a resounding yes for the VR60. It is a very fun, functional, reliable, relatively lightweight for what it is, combat shotgun. And I'm using the C word there, combat. I'm saying that, yeah, you could use this in a very serious defensive encounter. Now, ideally, I would long-term this, and if I can, I will.
That's the full strength.
And I'll do an update review and say, oh, by the way, after 4,000 rounds, parts started flying off the gun. Could happen. I don't know. But my initial take on this is I want one. I want one. And when I checked this out from Gunny's, the Great American Gun Store, they were selling for like $400.
Yeah.
There's that value price I'm talking about. That is incredible. Now I think they're selling for more than that. I don't want to say a price, maybe a lot more. And I think you're going to have a hard time finding them. I don't know. By the way, I forgot to tell you, it has a last shot hold open. Nice feature. Yep. And then you can strip a round off, just like you always do with your AR right here. And it has a lifetime warranty. Well, as long as they remain legal to ship back to the factory. That's a big if, by the way. Big if, as Nutnfancy sees it. And I saw an FDE version of this, the VR60, very sick. I don't know if it was limited or what, but they were out there for a time. You could Cerakote this, no problem. change the color if you wanted to. Competition to this, what would you recommend, Nutnfancy? Well, I'm not going to stand here in the bunker and act like I'm some AR-12 expert. I don't have a lot of experience in them, except what I'm testing here in the project. I think most of them would probably be like this one. They will come in at around the same price. One would be the Panzer Arms AR-12. I think they're running around 600. But again, everything's up in the air with what the communists are doing. I mentioned the Kalashnikov. Kalashnikov USA KS-12. I think those are about $900. I think they're like Sega's, maybe a little bit higher quality. Made in the U.S. Leader Arms AR-12. I don't even know what that one looks like. I had someone tell me about it. You have an Ivor Johnson Striker AR-12 shotgun. I have no experience with it. And that's one of those guns that has that grinder flash hider on there for looks. Trying to look cool. I don't think it's super functional. I guess it could be as an impact device, but I think it adds weight. I generally won't run muzzle devices on my shotgun like I talked about. All of these, I think, will use the same magazines. This is a 5-rounder. Again, you go 9 or 10 rounders. Those are bigger, they're heavier, and good luck keeping them on your person. Maybe you try a 308 LBE system that would take 308 mags. Experiment with them. I've seen some double or triple mag pouches for AK-47s that will take these shotgun magazines, and those will look well. It is what it is. I mean, firepower versus mobility. You're going with firepower. You're going to pay a price. The Ivor Johnson Striker, though, is about the same price, around $500. It's kind of goofy looking compared to this. I think this is actually a pretty good looking gun, the VR60. And then you have some higher end ones, like this F12 Typhoon in the background. Jumping ahead to that review, I'll just say it did not impress us. This gun here, it looks great. It looks awesome. It does, but I don't know if I'd buy one. Oh crap! Just ruined the drama of that review. Anywho, watch for that one. The watch for the review, by the way, is this one. Guys are always asking me because they see the watch flash and they're like, what is it? Let me read it to you. It's going to be a Citizen hands modded B612-5087 wearing a Barton canvas strap on it. Oh my goodness, making me happy. And the handgun will be the very beautiful, very impressive Smith & Wesson 329 Scandium framed 44 Magnum, previously reviewed here in the project. And yes, boys and girls, that is loaded. Coming out of an active system here in the project, it is pulling duty in this Galco belt holster, by the way. By the way, I have EDC'd this, and it makes me very happy. Very happy. It is an unusual choice. Yeah, but it's so lightweight, and apparently, according to Jardine at least, painful to shoot. Every time he shot this, he bled. I'm not making that up. Go watch the videos. And we got to wrap it up. Okay, like I said, fun review, by the way, here in the bunker. Very naughty shotgun. The leftists would love for me to never post this video, never promote this to the good people of America. That's you, by the way. Responsible, hardworking, making this country run, that may need a gun like this. Might be pro-Constitution law enforcement. They may need a gun like this. Yeah, so here you go. Gear for the good guys. Still cranking along the Nutnfancy project. I like this gun. It's awesome. We're signing off. Thanks for being a donor. Thanks for subbing. Make sure you go to my YouTube channel. Subscribe there as well. I got shut down for like 2 weeks in YouTube. Another story. We're back up and running, but the future looks bleak, to be honest. Signing off. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Good start. Low base rounds.
Yep.
Is that mag all the way in?
Yeah, should be.
Okay. That's a F12 mag. Awesome.
Nice.
Wow.
There we go.
That's a strong start.
That is a good start.
Wow.
And that
Low
was all
bass.
that low bass stuff. So
Let's keep
great.
going.
Yeah, that's great.
Wicked. Way lighter than the F12.
Very light. Yep. Yep.